charges for.
Hey yo, you remember this crash out from the beginning of the year? 3 days into 2024? That should have let y'all know that we were gonna be in for a hell of a year. And it started the year off, so as we come on the end of 2024, let me just follow up on this real quick. This is the story of Deobra Redden. All right, he's going to be the guy that jumped over the judge's stand and attacked Judge Mary Kay Holthus. I covered the story when it initially broke, so when you get a chance, go back and check out that video. All right, I don't have much time. I got to go pick up my son from basketball practice. I said it back then. They going to do whatever they can to put this man away for a long time. All right, now he's facing at least 26 years. And you know that they played into everything. The judge is going to say everything she had to do. And on optics, can you disagree with them? This man jumped over a 6-foot tall stand, if not more than that, cleared it, and went after a little 60-something-year-old woman.
I'm not a bad person. I'm not an evil person.
31-year-old Deobra Redden pleads for leniency before a judge sentences him for this. An attack on District Court Judge Mary Kay Holthus.
Any judge that looks at that, and if you peep, the judge in this current case is a woman as well, they gonna give him whatever they can. And some places are reporting it's 26 up to 65 years he could be facing. You think that this woman judge that is currently on this case gonna look at that and not try to give him as much as she can?
He sentenced him in January on a charge of attempted battery. Redden running up and jumping over Holthus's bench.
Idiot.
I'm not making excuses for my actions. I'm saying I'm not a bad person. And I know that I did not intend to kill Mary Kay Holthus. I know I cared about her well-being.
Holthus.
If anyone knows any of his ex-girlfriends or ex-boyfriends or ex-days, thems, I don't know, and I'm not going to assume. But if anyone knows any of his exes, tell him reach out to the channel. Let me know. Is this how he treats somebody that he cares about? Or maybe he's a sociopath or has some sort of mental health issue. Because as soon as a black person commits some sort of crime now, it's mental health.
This and a courtroom marshal both injured in the attack, leading prosecutors to charge Redden with attempted murder. During trial in September, Redden agreed to plead guilty with the stipulation he's mentally ill.
I saw nothing but red, and I don't remember doing anything except for jumping on top of her.
Please lock him up. We don't need people like that out in society. For us black men to be given the bad rap for this type of crash out. If he's willing to do that on the judge and he doesn't know, he just saw red, that means at any given time, he's a ticking time bomb. At any given moment, he could go off and snap and just see red, and he feels like that will be a defense in court or something like what? Who's advising this man?
And doing this to her robe. I was like, why are you doing this to me? That's what I wanted to ask her, if I think I know myself, but I'm not really sure.
He made a conscious decision to kill me and made every effort to succeed.
These are statements from the judge.
He had his way, he'd be facing a sentence of life without the possibility of parole for murder.
Damn. The judge said that if she had her way, he would be facing life without the possibility of parole for murder. All right, judge, that might be a little bit extreme. Thank God she ain't the judge presiding over the case. That might be a little bit extreme. But this is what I meant by they gonna throw the book at him. They're gonna play up everything that they can. She's a judge. She knows the lingo. She knows how to word it and stuff like that to tug at certain heartstrings. And look, I'm guessing that this is his family right here. This is mom, his sister, his mom, or his grandma right here. Do I think he should be getting life without the possibility of parole for attempted murder for a case like this? Not at all. Not at all. Now, do I think 26 years is too much? Not really, because he attacked the judge. When you attack police officers, judges, DAs, like a judge in a courtroom, it's one thing if you attack a judge as a random person on the sidewalk, you know, you mug him or something, which is still against the law, but you literally are sitting in her courtroom and she's wearing the robe presiding over your case, and this is how you... Bro, I think his stupidity along with his action and what he's saying in court right now about seeing red and this and that, yeah, 26 years. 26 years. Might not even be long enough to tell you the truth.
Was reading a statement from Holthus during Tuesday's sentencing, Redden crying as his attorney explained his client's years-long battle with schizophrenia.
Oh my gosh. Every time it's a black man with something, he got mental health issues. He got schizophrenia. Wasn't there a story just a few days ago, this same week, I covered on the subway where one of the men had schizophrenia? Like, what is it? Is this something in the water? Was it something in the vaccines when we were kids? The chicken pox, the D-tap or something? What was it? Where all of these people have mental health issues. And don't cry now, big man. You threw away damn near 30 years of your life for something where if even she arrested, it was a battery or something like that. If even he gets what, a couple probation, a year or 2, 3 years, whatever, it would have been less than damn near 30 years. All right, he gonna miss out on whatever is going on the outside here because of a split-second decision. And real quick, while we're on the topic, any young people, just think things out before you make a decision. Really, because it might seem logical. I don't know how he thought in any way, shape, or form that this seemed logical, but it may seem logical to you, but just sit down for like 5-6 minutes and think about it, because how many people are sitting down, and I'm not even going to take it to an extreme. How many people are sitting with $100,000 plus debt just because they just swiped the card? They didn't think about it. They just kept swiping and swiping and swiping, and hopefully that applies and makes sense and hits the way I was trying to make it.
This is a person that can and would be able to do it given the appropriate help from a psychologist and mental health counselor.
As she handed down her 26 to 65-year sentence, the judge in this case saying this attack was one on all judges.
It was not just retaliation for an attack on Judge Holthus. It was also an attack on the judiciary.
With credit for time served, Redden
told you, they're all going to take that personally. There is no judge that would have looked at this case and not had a bias. None. I don't care where the most liberal of judges, you go into New York City 6th District, put him in front of a judge in D.C. or one of these other blue hot spots. Even a black judge in one of these blue hot spots. I don't think any one of them are going to look at this without a bias, because they're all judges. They're all part of the judicial system. They all feel they're all in a fraternity or sorority or whatever you call it. You attack one, you attacked all. And that's why I wouldn't even be surprised if they push to give him the maximum amount just to make an example out of his ass.
Will be eligible for parole in the 2050s. He'd be in his mid-50s by then.
That's a damn shame. All right, this man is 31, gonna be in his mid-50s. He's younger than me. I'm 33. This dude, his life's done. I don't know where it was at before. I don't know what he was into before. It couldn't have been much if he's, going through all of these type of stuff and he's in his 30s, not getting his act together. All right, time for playing around is like your early 20s. Once you reach about 24, you got to start getting your thinking straight. All right, that frontal lobe is starting to close up. You got to start doing what you got to do. All right, and then if you have kids as well, you better be doing what you have to do. I don't know if he has kids, but 30 years old, crashing out like this in front of a judge for battery already, and then going and doing this, another battery, but stepped up because of who it is, bro. I don't know, man. 2024 was not his year. That's why I say think before you act. I know sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's easy to react and stuff like that, but just take an extra couple seconds and just think about it in your head. Too many people are sitting in prisons or in debt, in shelters, on the streets, whatever, because of bad decisions. Whether it was to attack a judge, use drugs, gamble, whatever it was, you end up losing a lot more than you end up gaining. But what do you think about this situation with Deobra Redden and Judge Mary Kay Holthus? What do you think? Do you think that 26 to 65 years is too harsh of a penalty? At the end of the day, This man has schizophrenia. He was having an outburst. He wasn't on his medication. That's an injustice to him by the healthcare system and every other system. The judicial system failed him because he's probably been in and out of it. The healthcare system failed him because they haven't given him the assistance that he needs, you know, whether that's through psychiatric meds, psychiatric therapy. They just haven't been put into place for him, you know, and at the end of the day, he's a victim. We need to reevaluate the judicial system so that he doesn't become another statistic, you know, on these revolving doors, just in and out of the courts, in and out of the jails, the prison to jail, the high school to prison pipeline. That's a real thing. Or do you think Deobra Redden's a fool? All right, this guy's a crash out, and now he gonna pay for it with damn near 30 years at least of his life. All right, and I don't see him being able to get any sort of leniency from any judge because they're all gonna stick together. This guy took crashing out in the courtroom as literal as you could take it, and then attacked a woman, an older woman, who was gonna look at this in their right mind and say, hey, you know what, let's release him. And then on top of that, this man's talking about he don't know what happened, he just saw red. Yeah, is that who you want being your neighbor? That's who you want living next door to you? The leaves blow onto his driveway or into his yard, and then he coming over to kill you? Is that because he clearly has no type of impulse control? He thinks something and he reacts. And now they're trying to diagnose it as mental health illness. I don't believe that for a second, yo. I'm seeing that in recent years, whenever somebody does something outrageous, everyone just wants to say mental health issues, mental health this. Like, nah, man. People, and they even had an independent psychologist evaluate him. He knows right from wrong. He knows you're not supposed to do that. Especially to the judge that if she wanted to, if he showed some remorse for whatever he had been in there for, probably would have let him go the same day. Probably would have given him probation. I don't know. I don't know what was actually going on in the case. But I'm saying you don't get anything you want by doing that of all things. All right? But maybe I have it wrong. I'm interested to know whatever you're thinking in the comments section. Till the next video, y'all be safe and stay wavy.
Repetition is the father of learning.